Hey folks, Marcel, I'm back with the Pulse. I want to thank you guys first and foremost for watching the channel, not only now, but much more often recently, as I've had a big burst of energy and enthusiasm going into the new year. Been posting very often, lately every 48 hours. I don't know how long I'll be able to keep up that pace, but there's just been a lot of things that have pent up, a lot of things been on my mind, and you guys have been great. You guys have been making great comments and giving me great feedback. So I want to thank you first and foremost for watching. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed, subscribe, hit the notification bell. As many of you know, you're probably shocked right now. I never asked for that, but anything we can do, whether you like the video, whether you comment, certainly subscribing to help the algorithm along, it's greatly appreciated because, hey, we're out here fighting for NMN, fighting for you, fighting for your right to take NMN and other healthy supplements. Now, lately I've been reading really a lot of comments to get ideas of things to talk about and things to say, and this came up. Some people said only sick people need NMN because they weren't feeling the effects of NMN, so they just assume, well, you're only getting the energy boost if you're sick. And I would first ask you to think about, why are you taking, if you're not sick and you're healthy, why are you taking NMN? Why would you take NMN? And I think, and I'm guessing here, you can elaborate, I'm guessing that you're taking it because the science and the personal accounts have been convincing enough to make you want to give it a shot. Okay, so you're taking NMN based on the accounts, based on the science that's out there, and you want to be healthier, you want the anti-aging properties, you want long-term health, then why are you worried about short-term energy gains? NMN is not a stimulant, it's not coffee, right? It's not speed. It's not something you're just going to feel immediately necessarily when taking it. Matter of fact, if you're following personal accounts, many people say, I needed time, right? I would say about half need a few months to feel something. Not everybody, hits the ground running with NMN and just feels this burst of energy. Many people do. And I'll grant you that that does kind of muddy the waters a little bit because it raises the expectation, or it also raises maybe the disappointment level. When you first take it and you don't get that immediate bump, then you're kind of concerned. I'm going to talk to you about a specific case along those lines in just a minute, which I know many of you are watching and tuned in for that because I think it's on the thumbnail. But I'm going to get into that, and I'm going to get into it in a lot of detail, so hang in there for just a minute. Now, what I'm saying here is the opposite may be true. You may have a deficiency. You may have an underlying health issue. It's not just that unhealthy people feel the benefits. Maybe you're not feeling the benefits because something else is going on. Could be a vitamin deficiency. Could be, God forbid, cancer. Could be a heart condition. Or maybe you just need more time, as many people do, for that healing to take place enough for you to get that sports rejuvenation, additional energy, and other benefits people report. Now, heart condition. I have a close relative, 84 years old, has had heart procedures in the past, has had a minor form of cancer in the past. This person is very sensitive to taking healthy supplements and taking anything, putting anything in their body. But they looked at the research, watched my channel extensively, and decided to give it a shot based on my own results. They've known me for a long time, so they said, well, he's doing great, maybe I'll do great too. And for the first year, almost nothing, right? Not worse, but not really better. And then after a year, they found out they needed a stent. Now, they'd had one before, but they got the stent. During that process, leading up to and then the recovery process, they kept taking the NMN. They've been nothing if not diligent about taking their NMN. And then after the months, after the stent, they start to feel energy again. They start to feel better. But now, lately, the past few weeks, the energy is through the roof. And it is that kind of energy that they had decades ago, that this person went out and cleaned the garage and is ready to go. They have two homes, so they're visiting one home. She wants to go back to the other home and clean that garage when they get home. So suddenly, and I said, how much do you think that is the stent? It's not just the stent. They had a stent before. Now, this is just one case. And maybe in a vacuum, it wouldn't mean all that much. And you could easily sit here and say, well, it's just the stent. But the person is saying, no, I'm really experiencing an energy boost. I'm feeling great. And they look and sound great. So other people have reported similar types of experiences. Now, I've interacted with thousands of people over the past couple of years, now 2.5 years of doing this channel, and I've seen a lot of, I would say strange, I'm almost done saying these are strange benefits, but I've seen some really strange stuff, and situations clearing up, conditions clearing up almost immediately. Some examples of taking NMN, which is fantastic, but other people need time. This person needed time to get the diagnosis for the stent and now heal from that, and now is experiencing the fuller benefits of a healthy lifestyle and the stent. They're exercising, they're going to the gym, just great stuff when you think of someone in their 80s. I had some conditions that I've shared here. One of them in another comment was I was recently asked about to elaborate. And when that was my own anxiety issues. Someone said, how bad was it? Was your wife concerned? Were you having heart palpitations? Well, it was bad. It was bad, and it went on for a couple decades. So it wasn't like a minute, right? And I had over a dozen ER visits through the years, and many what I would call episodes. I lived in LA for 14 years, and some days I'd have to pull off the road. I felt like I was about to die. I really did. It really felt like my heart was going to stop, like I just couldn't go on. And it's full-on panic, sure, and you can rationalize it, and you say, well, this is a panic attack. But I'm telling you, in that situation, it doesn't provide much comfort. It really doesn't. It might get you through that episode, but imagine the fear on the other end. You're like, when's that going to come back? When am I going to get that again? And then some days just feeling so bad, and that you actually get a physical limitation of the oxygen in your blood supply. I've gone to the ER and had a temporary problem where they've kept me for a few hours until everything went back to normal again. So it can manifest in a physical way. I took the garbage out one time. I was living in Indiana at the time, and I was really in the midst of a lot of struggles with this. I'm calling it allergies because it seemed to be allergy-induced panic attacks. I have a mold allergy, but I never had anything like this. I was so sensitive at that time. I went to take out the trash one time. I just picked up the bag, and I looked at my hands afterwards, and they were all red. And I'm like, what is going on with me? I'm just oversensitive to everything around me. I ended up moving to another state, still had issues, but less so than I had in the Midwest, where there were apparently a lot of triggers, a lot of allergens that were giving me problems. Now, I've told you all this to say, I can't even believe at times how much of a 180 I've had since taking NMN. The improvement started for resveratrol, which I took for a year prior to NMN. And the prices came down enough on NMN, and I started taking NMN, and I felt normal again. Not just healthy, energetic, like my old self, began to look like my old self, also experienced the weight loss and the skin improvements, the stuff we've talked about many times on this channel. But I felt normal again. There were no more anxiety attacks. I haven't had one in close to 3 years now. Certainly there's times when I get stressed, but it doesn't spiral out of control, right? I'm able to contain any stressful situations and just keep a level head. And that is a miraculous feeling. That is something that, again, I say this from time to time, like with the bleeding gums going away. This one thing, certainly on its own, is worth the price of admission for me. It's worth everything that I'm doing just to get rid of that anxiety. I share this anecdote, I share this story with you for those of you out there experiencing similar things and experiencing similar syndromes. Now, I don't know how it did it, but I have a feeling based on other things that cleared up. Now, I mentioned earlier allergy-induced panic attacks. I no longer have allergies. I no longer take allergy medication. I took it my whole life, over 40 years. I took some type of Claritin or Zyrtec or different types of allergy treatments. I've done the neti pot, which I continue to do, but I need it less and less, right? I just kind of do it to get a fresh start every day. Again, somehow it all cleared up. All the inflammation around my eyes, around my face. I think the panic attacks, the allergies, the inflammation around my eyes and my face, the overweight, the fatty liver, which has gone away. I think all of that was some kind of inflammatory response to obviously bad foods, bad diet, but I think that the NMN has helped me contain that. And now I can still drink some beer, eat some bad foods, but I've definitely reined in everything along with taking NMN because I'm inspired by the results, and you get greedy. You take some NMN and you want more. You want to feel even better. You want to feel even better. So I think the anxiety, and by the way, I tried all kinds of special diets and eliminating foods, had food allergy testing done. So it wasn't like I didn't try fixing the food issue when I was having all these panic attacks and allergy symptoms. Nothing worked. Nothing helped. It wasn't until NMN that everything got wiped away. And I'm not talking about, like, for a while I used to say maybe it's a 90% improvement, but I haven't had allergies at all. And I haven't been getting sinus infections, which I suffered a lot from, at all. And again, the bleeding gums. I think all of it was somehow related. I don't think, one was happening, and then another thing on its own happening. I think there was all one singular cause. I think it was inflammation. That's what I feel, having lived through it, having gone through it. And I think probably the biggest benefit of NMN, besides the stuff that we can't really yet prove, like mitochondrial strength and all that other stuff, which I certainly believe is going on, right? But I think the number one immediate benefit, and Dr. Shi has test results that show this, that inflammation goes down when people take NMN. It's another reason he says, NMN, I'm getting different results other than just higher NAD levels. So when people talk about niacin, they talk about NR. Dr. Shi's saying there's other things going on here besides just the NAD levels going up. Inflammation is going down. So he thinks it is also very much an inflammation causing a lot of these symptoms, a lot of these diseases. Again, hope some of this helps some of you. It's from experience. It's all honesty. It's my experience. I do, as I will mention again, take Do Not Age NMN. I take other supplements from them. You can use my code THEPULSE, save that 10%, and rest assured you're getting pure NMN. That's a good feeling. Having taken a fake NMN for a while, as I've talked about many times, it's a good feeling to know, yes, I'm taking pure NMN and I'm getting the benefits and I'm feeling like a new person. Thanks for watching. See you guys soon.